A Course in Miracles, Questions and Answers. What mistake makes all truth meaningless? Based on A Course in Miracles teachings. Let's first take a quick, brief look at the benefits of meditation. Breathing affects the nervous system, brainwave patterns, the lymphatic system, blood flow, blood pressure, the heart, our emotional state, and more. In addition, we can survive 3 weeks without food, 3 days without water, yet we can only survive for 3 minutes without oxygen. That's how critical oxygen, or breathing, is. In addition to that, Dr. Masaru Emoto of Japan proved in experiments that water responds very differently in extremely dissimilar ways to positive and negative words. So the oxygen we take in from our environment, our breathing, and the thoughts we think are very important. Meditation context. Keeping your attention on or in your body will keep you in the present moment. All guilt, regret, resentment, and anger is based on the past. All worry, anxiety, and fear is centered on some point in the future. In the present moment, none of that fear-based negativity exists. The Course in Miracles text is 1,754 pages long, and the main premise is nothing real can be threatened, nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. Each of my meditation videos will all have from 7 to 10 A Course in Miracles quotations, and after each quotation I will have a short meditation. Here is the first Course in Miracles quotation. Quotation: Light cannot enter darkness when a mind believes in darkness and will not let it go. Truth does not struggle against ignorance, and love does not attack fear. A Course in Miracles. We're going to use the 4-7-8 method. The 4-7-8 breathing technique involves breathing in for 4 seconds, holding the breath for 7 seconds, and then exhaling for 8 seconds. In breath. Hold. Out breath. Quotation: Truth has no meaning in illusion. When you try to bring truth to illusions, you are trying to make illusions real and keep them by justifying your belief in them. A Course in Miracles. In breath. Hold. Out breath. Quotation: No belief is neutral. Everyone has the power to dictate each decision you make, for a decision is a conclusion based on everything that you believe. What God creates has no alternative. The truth arises from what He knows, and your decisions come from your beliefs, as certainly as all creation rose in His mind because of what He knows. A Course in Miracles. In breath. Hold. Out breath. Quotation. Attack and sin are bound as one illusion, each the cause and aim and justifier of the other. Each is meaningless alone, but seems to draw a meaning from the other. Each depends upon the other for whatever sense it seems to have. Of course, in miracles. In breath. Hold. Out breath. Quotation. There is either a God of fear or one of love. The world attempts 1,000 compromises and will attempt 1,000 more. He did not make death because he did not make fear. Both are equally meaningless to him. Of course, in miracles. In breath. Hold. Out breath. Quotation. What you think you are is a belief to be undone, but what you really are must be revealed to you. The belief you are a body calls for correction, being a mistake. The truth of what you are calls on the strength in you to bring to your awareness what the mistake conceals. Of course, in miracles. In breath. Hold. Out breath. Quotation. You see the flesh or recognize the spirit. There is no compromise between the two. If one is real, the other must be false, for what is real denies its opposite. What you decide in this determines all you see and think is real and hold as true. On this one choice does all your world depend, for here have you established what you are, as flesh or spirit. Of course, in miracles. In breath. Hold. Out breath. Quotation. One illusion cherished and defended against the truth makes all truth meaningless and all illusions real. Such is the power of belief. It cannot compromise. Of course, in miracles. In breath. Hold. Out breath. Quotation. Call to your Father, certain that his voice will answer, and he himself will place a spark of truth within your mind wherever you give up a false belief, a dark illusion of your own reality. Of course, in miracles. In breath. hold, out breath. Again, the question posed at the beginning of this meditation in this video was, what mistake makes all truth meaningless? And the text that I highlighted in green says, truth has no meaning in illusion. When you try to bring truth to illusions, you are trying to make illusions real and keep them by justifying your belief in them. This quotation appears to be implying that when we try to make illusions real, we keep those illusions by justifying our belief in them. We are in essence trying to have those illusions be the truth, but they are still just illusions. Illusions can never be the truth. Again, the question posed at the beginning of this meditation in this video was, what mistake makes all truth meaningless? And the text that I highlighted in green says, what you think you are is a belief to be undone. The belief you are a body calls for correction, being a mistake. This quotation says that there is a belief that we need to undo, and that belief is regarding what we think we are. It says that what you think you are is the belief to be undone. This quotation says that the mistake is the belief that you are a body. The question posed at the beginning of this meditation in this video was, what mistake makes all truth meaningless? The quotations that best elaborate on this will be shown here now. The text that I highlighted in green says, you see the flesh or recognize the spirit. What you decide in this determines all you see and think is real and hold as true. On this one choice does all your world depend, for here you have established what you are. This quotation seems to be saying that there is one choice that we can make which determines our entire world experience. We can either see the flesh and bodies or recognize the spirit in others. It says that this one choice determines all we see and all we think is real and hold as true. Again, the question posed at the beginning of this meditation in this video was, what mistake makes all truth meaningless? And the text that I highlighted in green says, one illusion cherished and defended against the truth makes all truth meaningless and all illusions real. Such is the power of belief. This quotation answers the question regarding the mistake that makes all truth meaningless. It says that one illusion cherished and defended against what is true, such as believing that you are a body, makes all truth meaningless and all illusions real for you. It states that this is the power that belief holds. Space Eternity Meditation. We're going to take an imaginary trip with your consciousness, and during this imaginary trip, we'll leave your body behind. To begin, see yourself standing in a large grass field. You've been given the ability to travel into space and to go anywhere you like. You don't have to worry about oxygen, collisions, or anything else, because only your consciousness will be traveling into space. You now have the intention and decide to go straight up into the sky. You are now flying up into the clouds. You then decide to pause and take a look around. You look down and see cities, streets, towns, and hills. Now you have the intention and decide to continue flying straight up. You are now in outer space, and it's mostly darkness with lights from stars and distant planets. You then slow down, pause to a standstill, and take a look around. At this point, you decide to go straight ahead in a horizontal direction. Meteors, planets, and other phenomena are racing by you. You then slow down, pause to a standstill, and take a look around. You again decide to continue in the same direction. You continue, and you have now traveled a significant distance while moving extremely fast. You then think to yourself, when will I reach the end of this universe or of this solar system? How will I know when I've gone as far as I can possibly go? You then realize that either there is an upcoming wall of some sort, or space just continues on. And you think to yourself, if there is some sort of a wall ahead of me, what about straight above me? Is there some sort of a wall there too? And what about straight below me and behind me? Is this universe or solar system contained in some sort of a box? Is outer space confined by a box with walls? And if so, what is behind the walls of this box? You think to yourself, if outer space is confined by a box and I go through one of the walls of the box into outer space again, then when does that space end? Is there another box enclosing the box that I just exited from? You then realize that the only thing that makes sense is that there are no walls or boxes in outer space, that space just keeps on going endlessly for an infinite distance. You realize that infinity is the only thing that makes sense when it comes to outer space. Okay, we're going to do a timelessness meditation. And again, take long, slow, deep breaths, but very relaxed. Don't make an effort of it. Okay, we're going to take a look at time now. To begin, see yourself standing on a long, almost endless sandy beach. You hear a loud, gentle, kind voice, and it says, each grain of sand on this beach is equal to a 100-year lifetime. And there are millions of beaches just like this one, with trillions of grains of sand on each one. How many lifetimes do you think you have? You have an infinite number of lifetimes for all of eternity. As you breathe in, see your consciousness diving down into a grain of sand. As you dive down into it, you see that everything is large, and you see that it resembles planet Earth. There are oceans and mountains and vegetations within this grain of sand that you just took a dive into. You keep diving down into the single grain of sand and feel as though you've been there before. It starts to look very familiar. You then realize that you will be starting a new life there, an entire new lifetime from birth to death. and you remember what you were told, that each grain of sand is equivalent to one lifetime, and that there are millions of beaches with trillions of grains of sand on each beach. You begin to sense what timelessness is. You begin to understand how time can just keep going on and continue endlessly, just like outer space. You realize that you are not the body that you see, that you instead are the spirit that surrounds the body. You remember that you've been told that you are energy, and that energy cannot be created or destroyed. You realize that you are an infinite being living in a timeless universe with no end. The body is just a costume.